So what does the future of Ireland actually look like? Well, a new report from Sinn Féin's Commission on the Future of Ireland claims it has an answer. Today, we're going to break down its vision, the evidence it's putting on the table, and its roadmap for a united Ireland. At the very heart of this report is a pretty massive consultation project. The whole initiative is really built around this simple but powerful idea of have your say. The goal was to kickstart a huge, nationwide, and even international conversation about what a new Ireland could really be. So, back to that big question, what is the future of Ireland? According to this report, the answer isn't some fringe debate anymore. It argues that the idea of Irish unity has moved firmly into the mainstream, and that it now has a political momentum that's, well, pretty much undeniable. Okay, that's a pretty bold claim, right? So what evidence does the report actually present to back up this idea of a growing momentum for constitutional change? Let's dig in. First up, the report points to polling data, just like this, as a key indicator. It makes the point that questions about unity are now just a standard part of any major poll. And yeah, while you can see opinions are clearly divided, the report highlights that there's significant support for unity, and it argues that support is growing, especially when you look at younger demographics. The case they're making isn't just political, it's also very much economic. The report points to the absolutely explosive growth in cross-border trade. I mean, it's jumped from less than £2 billion back in 1998 to a massive £12.4 billion a year today. This is presented as hard evidence that an integrated, all-island economy is already taking shape. The report also dives right into the money side of things. It doesn't shy away from the costs. Instead, it leans on academic research, like a key study from DCU and Ulster University, to argue that, you know what, a united Ireland is financially viable and could even hit a break-even point in less than a decade. Another piece of their argument is that this isn't just some niche debate happening in a corner. They paint a picture of a conversation that has gone totally mainstream. We're talking senior political leaders from across the spectrum, a ton of academic research, dedicated civic groups, and even official government committees, all actively digging into this question of constitutional change. So here's the crucial point. How does the Commission claim to be building this conversation on the ground? Beyond the headlines and the academic papers. Well, their answer is a series of what they call People's Assemblies. The report says they've held 44 of these public meetings so far. They were designed to gather perspectives directly from everyday citizens, from experts, and from community leaders on what they want to see in the future. And these assemblies took all kinds of forms. You had everything from these really formal panel discussions in big auditoriums to much smaller local gatherings in community halls. The report uses this to show just how wide a net they were trying to cast, covering everything from high-level policy debates to the concerns of local communities. And to really put a human face on it all, the report is just filled with direct quotes from people who took part. Take this one from Seamus McWilliams, a farmer. It really captures the sense of economic and political alienation that the report suggests is driving some people to think about alternatives to how things are now. And the scope of what people talked about was just incredibly broad. I mean, they were discussing the real practicalities of an all-island health service, workers' rights, the economy, what young people are worried about, the concerns of rural communities, all the way to the cultural role of the Irish language. But this report isn't just about listening. It also uses all that feedback to start outlining a specific vision for what a new, united Ireland could actually look like. So what's the proposal? A huge pillar of this vision is healthcare. The report makes a strong case for a single Irish national health and care service, basically arguing that running two separate competing health systems on a small island is just inefficient and frankly doesn't make much sense. And this quote here from Pat Cullen, who's not only an MP but also the former head of the Royal College of Nursing, really drives that point home. The report frames a unified public health service not just as an idea, but as a common-sense necessity for an island of this size. The environment is another key area. The report basically argues that partition is a barrier to doing anything effective on climate change. As it says right here, carbon doesn't care what side of the border it pollutes. So it positions unity as a chance to treat Ireland as a single biogeographic unit and really go after a much more ambitious green transition. Now, this is absolutely crucial. The report repeatedly emphasizes that this vision has to be inclusive. It states over and over that a new Ireland has to be a shared space, where the identity, the culture, and the traditions of the Protestant and Unionist communities aren't just tolerated, but are actually respected and given a central role. So, that's the vision. But what are the practical steps? What does the report say needs to happen to actually make any of this a reality? Well, the report lays out a very clear four-step plan of action that it wants the Irish government to take. First, create a dedicated planning unit right inside the Taoiseach's office. Second, appoint a specific minister for the job. Third, publish a formal green paper to explore all the options. And fourth, bring together a citizens' assembly to really deliberate on the constitutional future. And there's a deadline. The report anchors its call to action in the 1998 Good Friday Agreement, which, you'll remember, provides the legal path for a referendum. Citing all the momentum it's documented, the Commission calls for those referendums, north and south, to happen by the year 2030. Ultimately, this report frames reunification not as a problem to be solved, but as the single greatest opportunity for the entire island. And it leaves everyone with a final, really powerful question. What happens when a generation is asked to write the next chapter of its nation's story? That's the challenge this report puts on the table.